Hey everyone, this is Linda from brewnymph.com, and this is another edition of Let's Get a Beer Florida. Today, I'm at Atlantic Beach Brewing Company in Atlantic Beach, just outside of Jax Beach. I'm here not only because I like the beer and it's a really cool place, but they just released today their very first bottle release, Cafecito de Cuba Imperial Stout. And this is the first bottle release that they've done, so it's a pretty big deal. And this beer was made with Cafe Bustelo Supreme Espresso, according to the brewmaster, Rory Malloy. And the tasting notes on this are of stone fruit, chocolate, caramel, brown sugar, and crema, which is a foam that's made with the sugar blended with coffee. Now they actually did this with beer out of the fermenter. They went ahead and blended the coffee in there. So I am really looking forward to trying this because, as we all know, I love coffee beer. And yesterday was Stout Day, and I'm really looking forward to having some of this Imperial Stout. So if you're around the Jax Beach area, Atlantic Beach, make sure you stop by and pick up one or two or maybe even more. Again, Cafecito de Cuba from Atlantic Beach Brewing Company, and you gotta love that shark logo, right? It is just way cool. So that's why I'm here at Atlantic Beach Brewing, and I do have a wheat beer in my hand, which is very light, refreshing. I'm enjoying this a lot. So more on that after I finish the video. Like I said, my name is Linda, and I'm going to tell you about some news, some events going around all around Florida, and you can find all of this on brewnymph.com, which is a full-service website. I have events on there, news, all kinds of stuff, and let me tell you, it's just been going crazy of late, okay? We have a big weekend again. There's been a lot of those of late in Florida. Another big one on tap, and next weekend too. And if you're watching this on social media, you are not going to get the full video. This will be uploaded on YouTube as well as on the homepage at brewnymph.com. So at some point it's going to cut out, so just bear with me on that. So also going on today in the Jacksonville area over at Jax Beach, Southern Swells Brewing over on Beach Boulevard also released 2 cans. Now this is the first time that it's done cans. So it's Truth Juice Double IPA, which is a hugely popular double IPA around the area, and this one is brand new. In a galaxy really close by, it's an IPA. This was only available in cans, and it's the first time that they've done this. So it's their first can releases, and if you're around the area, go ahead and pick up a couple of those as well. So big things happening around here in Jax Beach, and these breweries just keep going on and on with new stuff, as they are all around Florida. So good to see more beer, more things to try, all of that kind of thing. Let's see. Also today, Intuition Ale Works in downtown Jacksonville is releasing a Pample Goza, which is a goza with lime and peppers. So they'll have that after today as well. So let's talk about some other news. First of all, as long as I'm here at Atlantic Beach Brewing, and don't forget, new Imperial Stout, by the way, as long as I'm here, a couple of news going on right here at this brewery. Next week, they'll be starting a new food menu right here in the tasting room, so you won't even have to leave your seat, and you can get some food items right there. Also, starting on Wednesday, they'll be starting some small batches that Rory will be making over here in the brew house, and we're looking forward to that. I think I kind of have a heads up on what one of them might be, and I'm looking forward to see if that's the first one or not. So otherwise, you can expect all kinds of different beers coming off of those small batches. I also wrote a story on brewnymph.com about this beer release and got a little bit of an insight as far as how much Rory really loves coffee and some of the upcoming beers that he'll be doing on those small batches. So stay tuned for that. So let's talk about some other news. First of all, we've got in Jacksonville, and this will be on Saturday, November 4th, this will be the day of Porch Fest in the Springfield area in Jacksonville. So this is the map, the official map, and inside it's got a list of all of the music locations. Now, this will be musicians playing on people's front porches in Springfield. There will be a beer garden in the Clutho Park, and that's going to be the kickoff for Jax Beer Week. There'll be a beer garden, beer trucks in there, and you can actually buy those beers there and wander around with them all around the neighborhood. Speaking of Jack's Beer Week, that also will be starting tomorrow, and a group of the breweries did get together and brew a collab beer, Soured Society, which is a dry hopped sour red ale. That will be available at Porch Fest and then at places throughout the week, starting this coming week as well. So getting back to Porch Fest, I also went to the pre-party last night, which was a lot of fun. And at the pre-party, Hyperion Brewing was there, which is a new brewery, about 6 months old here in the Springfield area. Main and Six will be opening tomorrow at Porch Fest as well. A little bit more on that. Also the new Strings Brewery, which will be opening in the Springfield area in 2018. They were at the pre-party last night, and Legacy Ale Works was there. I did a Q&A with Legacy Ale Works over the summer. Check that out, it's on brewniff.com as well. So I had some really good beer last night from these guys, and you'll be able to sample those at Porch Fest tomorrow. As a matter of fact, Legacy will actually be under tent all afternoon as long as their supply allows. Otherwise, they'll be in a VIP tent pouring those beers between 5 and 6. So that's Porch Fest, a little bit about Jack's Beer Week, but some other news that came up. I mentioned Main and Six, and Main and Six will be having its grand opening on Saturday, November 4th as well. And I got a sneak peek last week behind the scenes there. It's a lead story on the homepage, brewniff.com. Check it out because the place is going to be amazing. There was still a lot of dust and things going on there, but you could really tell that once it's all said and done, it's going to be a great place to sit and have a beer over there, North Main Street in Springfield. And as the name implies, it's located at Main and Six in Jacksonville. So congratulations to Main and Six. Looking forward to that. And looking forward to the finished tap room. It was still a little bit under construction when I was there last week. Also in other news, Dog Rose Brewing opened very quietly last weekend, the 27th, I guess. And I went over there on Saturday the 28th and got a taste of all 6 beers that were on tap at the time. And this is a very cool place, very bright, colorful outside. Inside, it's natural wood, a little bit of industrial flair, nice artwork on the wall, cozy, intimate, and they have some dartboards, shuffleboard table there. And we're looking ahead to more beer from Doug, who's the owner, co-brewer there, and we're looking to more beer from him, which will be coming. He also will be doing some barrel releases coming up. He just put a picture out there today of some barrels that he got, so we'll be looking forward to all of that. So if you're around St. Augustine, make sure you stop in at Dog Rose. It's now fully open 7 days a week. Great place over there. Had a great time visiting. There's also a story on brewniff.com about that. And I also got a construction look and an interview with Doug back in July. So that's on there too. Speaking of St. Augustine, this news just came out yesterday, I think it was, a couple days ago, yesterday. And this is the Nights of Pints that the 4 St. Augustine breweries will be holding during Nights of Lights, where all the 3 million twinkly lights come out. The 4 St. Augustine breweries will be hosting Nights of Pints, and you heard it first on brewniff.com, got it out there yesterday. And what it is buy the commemorative shirt at any one of those 4 breweries in downtown, and you'll get a passport. Take your passport to each brewery for 1 free beer, and then of course if you run through your passport, buy another shirt, get another one, right? So those 4 breweries are Bog Brewing, which is on West King Street, Old Coast Ales, which is across the Bridge of Lions on Anastasia Boulevard. We've got Ancient City Brewing, which just opened its new tap room in downtown St. Augustine on Cathedral Place, right next to the plaza. And of course, Dog Rose Brewing, which is behind the Leitner Museum on Bridge Street. So again, that information is up on brewniff.com, so check that out. And twinkle, twinkle, have a great time at Nights of Lights, which, by the way, kicks off with the Light Up Night on November 18th. And that's when the Nights of Pints will also start, running concurrently with Nights of Lights. One more item of news is the Irma IPA, which was brewed at Intuition Ale Works a couple weeks ago. We're looking forward to that, and the proceeds from that will be used to help people who were affected by Hurricane Irma that blew through, well, the whole state, right, and pretty much affected everybody. So we're waiting on that Irma IPA news, so stay tuned for that. All right, let's get into some events because there's so much going on. And I already mentioned the bottle release here at Atlantic Beach Brewing. I mentioned the can releases at Southern Swells, the Intuition bottle release of the Pample Goza. We also have a new brewery that's been hitting Florida of late. This is New Holland Brewing, so look for some launch parties going on around there. All right, Saturday, November 4th is a big day. I already mentioned a bunch of stuff. Jack's Beer Week starts at the Porch Fest tomorrow. Now this is my souvenir glass from a couple of years ago, Jack's Beer Week souvenir glass. So look for events going all around Jack's next week, starting tomorrow. And I've got them listed on brewnev.com. You can also go to Jack's Beer Week Facebook page. They're all on there as well. We also have here in Jacksonville, the Naval Air Station Jack's Air Show will be going on. So that's always a lot of fun. When I was driving out here today, I could see a bunch of jets flying around. Very, very cool pieces of machinery are those. November 4th is also National Learn to Home Brew Day. I know that Cask in Jack's will be doing a brew day at Just Brew It, which is over there by Bold City in Jacksonville. If you look at the American Homebrewers Association website, there, when I last checked, there were 6 or so events going on for the Homebrew Day all across the state. So check that out and find out for one near you. I mentioned Porch Fest. Porch Fest, I wrote about that a couple of weeks ago. Huge music fest. There's also a 5K in the morning ahead of that. So also on Saturday, November 4th, Red Cypress Brewery, our friends in the Orlando area. Don't you just love these guys? They're so much fun and their beer is so good. Well, they'll be having an anniversary party on Saturday, November 4th. So if you're around Orlando, check them out. Also, our friends down in Palm City, down in Fort Myers, will be having a fall festival. So if you're in Southwest Florida, give that a look. And hey, Palm City, if you're watching this, I know I mentioned you in the Facebook post before. I need coasters and stickers, okay? So I can have them for props in next videos. If you're watching, send me some. All right. There's also a Beer, Boats, and Bacon Fest going on in Sarasota. And Rep Brewing in Seminole, Tampa area will be having a 5th anniversary party. I haven't been there, but I've heard awesome things about them. So if you're in that area, go check those guys out. And let's see, getting another Jack's Beer Week event, Sour Beer Spotlight at Alewife. That's also November 4th. If you're down in the Melbourne area, Brevard, Jazzoo at Brevard Zoo will be going on. Now, there are a lot more events, and these are all listed on brewnev.com. I'm not running through everything, just giving you some highlights. So take a look at that. I update them all the time. And probably by the time I get home tonight, I'll be updating them a little bit more and into the morning and over the weekend. Sunday, don't forget to change your clocks. Daylight saving time ends. So what, are you going to be late? You're going to be early? I don't know. Just make sure you're on time wherever you're going. Change those clocks. The air show in Jacksonville that I mentioned still be going on Sunday. The Great Chowder Debate will be at the Conch House in St. Augustine on Sunday from noon till 4. Check out a whole bunch of different chowders out there. That's always a lot of fun. And you get some really good chowders out there. You can vote on the best ones as well. Jaguars are at home against the Bengals. There's a homebrew competition for Belgian beer at Alewife. And a collaboration beer release over at Hyperion Brewing with Strings Sports Brewery, the new one coming on in 2018. They did a sweet potato brown ale. So check that out on Sunday, 3 o'clock. There's also a Jack's Beer Week bottle share at Alewife at 3:30. Going into next week, I mentioned it's Jack's Beer Week. A lot of tappings, tastings, all that kind of thing going on, spotlights. Check it out. I've got them listed in the calendars. A couple of things I want to mention. Already mentioned, Atlantic Beach Brewing will be having a pilot batch on Wednesday when it opens. So check that out. Pint nights, spotlights, again, There's a donut pairing at Southern Swells in Jax Beach. That sounds fun. With the new place that'll be opening, the Mini Bar, who will be doing coffee and donuts there. Also at I Eff, a beer cellaring basics class. That's on Wednesday, the 8th. Some happy hours, tappings, trivias, ladies' nights, all more going through next week. Winwood Brewing is also making its way up here in Jacksonville, and there'll be a tap takeover at Bread and Board in Jax on Thursday. And let's see, what else do we have? A couple of things I wanted to mention on Thursday in Jacksonville again. Girls Pint Out. I'm one of the original members of Girls Pint Out, goes back a few years, and they'll be doing a get-together at Hyperion Brewing on Thursday at 6 o'clock. Also, there's a cornhole tournament to benefit MDA at Wicked Barley Brewing at 7. That being sponsored by Publix Charities. So if you're around that area, check that out. Also, Alewife is doing Townies versus Beaches for Jack's Beer Week, and that's on Friday. And also the Jack's Brew at the Zoo, it's sold out, so you can't get tickets unless you want to be a sponsor. That sells out in September, by the way. So next year when you see Jack's Brew at the Zoo, get those tickets early because it always sells out really, really quickly. Saturday, November 11th is Veterans Day. There'll be an Orlando Beer Festival happening that day. Pajama crawl in Jax Beach starting at Brick's Tap House. So wear your jammies and go crawl around. Beer Fest also at Hyperion Brewing in Jax. Small batch Saturday nights at Southern Swells in Jax Beach, like I mentioned. And we're getting close to Thanksgiving, and that means we're getting close to the Intuition Aleworks anniversary. Now, this isn't just one day, right? They do an entire week of things. That'll be starting November 12th. So they have an entire week of things going on at their brewery, elsewhere, and it ends with a carnival, they're calling it this year. That'll be on November 18th. So looking ahead into the future, we've got the Intuition Carnival anniversary on the 18th. We also have Playa Linda with an anniversary on the 18th at their hardware store location in Titusville. And this is a really fun anniversary. I wrote about it last year. This is pretty, I would say, famous for its cupcakes and its birthday beer. Kind of a fun picture that I put up there last year. The beer rimmed in some whipped cream and cupcakes. So if you're around Titusville, check out the Playa Linda anniversary. A fun, fun time over there. Also, Civil Society, for you hopheads who are into the hop forward beers. Civil Society doing a massive black block party for its anniversary on November 18th. Check that out. I've got some information on brewneff.com, or go to the Civil Society website. And that promises to be a huge, huge event down there in Jupiter, which is in the Abacoa Town Center. I've been there a bunch of times. Really fun place in Abacoa. And the Civil Society Brewery is very cool if you haven't been there yet. It's a very, very cool place to visit. Also, news. What else do we have? On the 18th, Brewval Fest will be in Jax Beach. Stay tuned for that. And some additional news. Our friends at Proof Brewing, I was just there a couple weeks ago, and First Magnitude Brewing in Gainesville. So you've got Tallahassee and Gainesville. Guess where I'm going with this, right? Okay, these two got together and brewed a collaboration beer for Florida State game. So they'll be tapping that on November 24th at First Magnitude. And it's a New England style IPA with apricots. And it's a win-win. So regardless of who you're rooting for, Florida State, the beer, Proof, First Magnitude, is a win-win. If you're in Gainesville, check that out. I'm sure it's going to be awesome. And looking even further ahead, we've got the FBG Florida Brewers Guild Barrel Aged Sour and Cider Fest, December 9th at Intuition. Tickets on sale now. And heads up, guys, Maple Bacon Coffee Porter Fest is January 13th. Now we're talking 2018. Those tickets go on sale November 20th. Hoona Day. Okay, who went to Hoona Day last year? Was that fun or what? That's going to be on March 10th. Those tickets go on sale November 24th. Different tiers, different levels you can buy. I've got some links on brewneff.com. Check that out. And check out my story from last year's Hoona Day because it was a party. Also, Hogtown Craft Beer Fest in Gainesville just announced. Tickets go on sale December 6th. That will be on April 21st. Also, I'm watching 3 new breweries going up around the West Palm Beach area. A couple of them getting ready to go pretty soon. Another one maybe after the new year. So once I get a handle on that, we'll give you more on that, and hopefully I get down and check those out soon. So guys, I think that's it. Check out all those events on brewnev.com, constantly adding them. Have a great Jack's Beer Week. I'll be seeing you out and about, I'm sure. Porch Fest tomorrow, Main and 6 opening tomorrow if you're in Jack's area. And don't forget your bottles of the Cafecito de Cuba at Atlantic Beach Brewing. Come say hi to this shark, okay? And listen, we will see you next time. Thanks for sticking with me, and let's get a beer, Florida.